Here we'll look at 3 examples of rounding a given number to the nearest tens place value. And we'll take a look at each example graphically, as well as using the formal rules for rounding. First we have, what is 57 rounded to the nearest 10? So we first want to recognize that 57 would be between 50 and 60 to the nearest tens. So on the number line, if this is 50 and this is 60, we know 55 would be here in the middle, and therefore 57 would be approximately here. So because 57 is closer to 60 than it is to 50 to the nearest tens, we say 57 rounds up to 60. Using the formal rules of rounding, we first identify the digit in the tens place value, which is the 5. The digit to the right, which is a 7, determines whether we round up or down. If this digit to the right is a 5 or more, we round up. If it's 4 or less, we round down. So because we have a 7, we round up, which means we increase the 5 to a 6, and 57 rounds to 60. Next, what is 83 rounded to the nearest tens? So graphically, we want to recognize that 83 is between 80 and 90 to the nearest tens. So if this is 80 and this is 90, 85 would be here in the middle, and 83 would be to the left of 85, let's say here. So because 83 is closer to 80 than it is to 90, to the nearest tens, 83 rounds down to 80. Using the formal rules for rounding, we first determine the digit in the tens place value, which is the 8. The digit to the right, which is a 3 now, determines whether we round up or down. Again, 4 or less we round down, 5 or more we round up. So because we have a 3, we round down. When we round down, though, we don't change the 8, we leave it as an 8, and 83 rounds down to 80. Notice how 80 is less than 83, which is why we're saying we're rounding down, even though we don't change the digit in the tens place value. So when rounding up, notice how we increased the tens place value by 1, and then made the ones place value 0, giving us 60. When rounding down, we did not increase the tens place value, but we still changed the ones place value to 0, in this case giving us 80. And now our last example is a little bit different. We're asked, what is 25 rounded to the nearest 10? So the tens place value, 25, would be between 20 and 30. What's different about this example is notice 25 is actually right in the middle. So notice how it's the same distance from 20 as it is to 30. So in this case, we have the rule that if the value is right in the middle, we round up, and therefore 25 rounds up to 30. Using our formal rules, notice how the 2 is in the tens place value. The digit to the right, the 5, indicates whether we round up or down. So again, if it's a 5 or more, we round up. 4 or less, we round down. So because it's 5, we round up, which means we change the 2 to a 3, and the ones place value changes to 0, giving us 30. 25 rounds up to 30 when rounding to the nearest tens place value. I hope you found this helpful.